I'm Dean Huppert, and this is the Coach's Show with Keith Kinder, getting ready for the big game against Concord at Steele Stadium. Friday night, 7 o'clock. You know the Minutemen are going to come in here and trying to get the big win over you guys.
Yeah, and they've been in some really tight games and just had some things not go their way. They had 2 touchdowns called back last Friday against Northridge in a one-score game. They played Warsaw to a 10-3 game and had some turnovers and a missed field goal. So they're really close to breaking out, and so that's the scary part about them is they're good enough, and when they put a game together, they're going to be able to beat some good people.
There's a lot of history with Mishawaka and Concord, going back to a game when it decided who was going to the state finals. But here recently, these have been competitive games, and you know you're going to get a hard-nosed game. You know you're going to get some quick passes and big play potential every time you play the Minutemen.
Yeah, and it seems like there's always something on the line when you play them. We're in the same sectional, so typically, you're playing for a sectional championship or to move on to the sectional championship against them. This week we've got an opportunity to still win the conference, and so those are things that come into play, and I think our kids understand it. I also think it's 2 teams that understand each other really well and what the other is trying to do, and so they defend us really well. They put us in some bad positions because they understand what we do defensively. So it's a game where we're going to have to play well and we're going to have to execute well.
You're very, very good at reading your team and knowing what the energy level is. I mean, we're going into week 8. Are these guys that need a boost to say, hey, we've got to have this? I mean, it's going to be homecoming. A lot of people here. We're at Steele Stadium. You would think that's enough, but it's also a grind of a season where these guys might be getting a little bit tired.
It is. It's I think collectively, after the stretch, where you had Warsaw, Northwood, tough games in both of those. Saturday, coaches, players a little bit beat up and tired and mentally and physically drained, but you got to bounce back, right? And so I think the fact that we're still involved in the conference race, the fact that our kids understand that this is the team that we got to beat to win not just 1 trophy but 2 trophies. This is the best team in our sectional as well. With us that we've got to beat to have a chance to win a championship. So I think understanding that, I don't think our kids need much more motivation.
And it's one of those life lessons that, hey, even when you get tired, you still got to keep grinding. You got to keep pushing.
That's something that has to come from the coaching staff and our leaders, and I think our captains have been really good leaders this year. They've bought into the messages that we've had on a weekly basis, and the message this week has been, this is a really good opponent, and you've got to play your best. You've got to play better than you played last Friday because they are more than capable of beating you. I think you look at Northwood last week, in their 2 losses, they turned the ball over 9 times, had a lot of penalties and made a lot of mistakes. And then last Friday, they play a very clean game, and, we were in a dogfight. Concord is more than capable of doing the exact same thing, and then we're going to see ourselves in the same position in a dogfight, to try to win a conference championship. So I think the mental focus will be there. I think our kids will play hard. It's just a matter of executing and figuring out a way to win the game.
You don't always get to see everything, but Friday nights are an event.
Yeah, someday I'll get a chance to watch all that stuff. Hopefully not too soon, but, I know that, in hearing from my family, my kids love watching our band perform. They sit right next to the band and dance with the band when they're playing. Caleb does a tremendous job. We say it every week. This is a special place to play. It's a special place to coach. It's a special place to work. But you try not to take that for granted while trying to prepare for winning a high school football game.
And we appreciate what you've done Saturday morning after the Northwood game. Your kids were out volunteering, helping out Beef Bash, and those are the important things, giving back and knowing that the community is important, and it's not just football.
Well, yeah, I think that our kids understand that it's important to serve your community. And I think that the more our kids are seen doing good things, the more support you feel like our community wants to give our team. So I think it's a double, it works both ways, right? Like we help you support us, and I think that that's a good relationship that we have with our community.
All right, good luck Friday night. 96.1 Mishawaka Network. You can see it, you can hear it, or you can be here live. It's only $7 to come to Steele Stadium to watch the Cavemen.
Yeah, thank you.
You're watching the Mishawaka Football Coaches Show, sponsored by Southwestern Michigan College.